Hello, Vanessa Vanderhoek, the Healthy Gut Nutritionist here. Today, I wanted to talk you through one of the tests I use quite commonly in my clinic called the organic acid test. And it's by Mosaic Diagnostics. This is a sample report. And look, the reason why I run it quite often with people is, in children, it's very helpful, particularly with children with autism or ADHD, learning difficulties, behavioural challenges, failure to thrive, you name it, to understand what's going on metabolically. So this test is functional, and what that means is it's not diagnostic. I'm not a doctor. It's not going to say you've got this condition. What it's going to do is really help me work with you where there some targeted areas that we can work on to help your child. If it's for you, for adults, where I typically use this is if I've got clients where they've got low energy, they've got perhaps autoimmune or other chronic conditions, low, like I said, that really chronic fatigue. If there's things that are just not adding up and we're going, okay, well, what else could be going on in the body? This is a really, really helpful place to start. And I'm just going to really give you the highest level zoom through of what it covers. First off, yeast and fungal. So if you have or your child has yeast and fungal overgrowth, we've got to get on top of that. Some of these markers give us an indication if there is mold. It's not a mold test, but it may point us in the direction. Yes, there has been exposure to water-damaged buildings, mold, is there candida, things like that. So it's really, really, really helpful for me to help hone in. It also takes us down the path of looking at bacterial markers. And again, it is not a gut test, but what it does is give me clues. If I see on this that things are completely out of whack and you or your child has gastrointestinal symptoms, it'll give us further information as to what to do. We may need to do a GI map, which is a gut poo test, but often we can do quite a lot just based on this. Clostridia, I see this a lot with my children in my clinic who have ASD in particular. If Clostridia comes up, we have to treat it. We have to get rid of it. It impacts dopamine, and it reduces what's called norepinephrine, which causes that 0 to 1,000 in anger. It can cause and result in things like OCD and some of the behavioural symptoms that you may be experiencing or you may be observing in your child. And it's got to go because if we see Clostridia, it's impacting neurotransmitters, it's impacting a lot of things. So you can see already on that first page is heaps of information that we can look into. It looks into oxalate metabolites. So sometimes I see these get out of whack if you or your child has candida, if there's exposure to mold, if there's a high intake of foods that are high in oxalates. Gives us a lot of clues as to when I match this up with your symptoms as to, okay, what do we do now? It also goes into a whole bunch of other markers around glycolic, your mitochondria. This is how you make energy in the cells, your amino acid metabolites, and really importantly, neurotransmitters. So what's going on with your dopamine? What's going on with your serotonin? What's going on with your norepinephrine and epinephrine? So these impact mood significantly. So if you have anxiety, if you have depression, if you or your child goes from 0 to 1,000 in anger, if you have OCD, anything relating to mood, we look at this and we go, right, what's going on here? For instance, quinolinic is neurotoxic to the brain. So if you have or your child has high quinolinic, we've got to get that under control. It's like the brain is on fire. So what we've got to do is work through how do we hose that down. And I use this plus some of the other markers in the test to give us clues. Folate metabolism. Folate's incredibly important for healthy cell development. So we're always looking at that. Your ketones, nutritional markers. I'm looking here at B12, B6, B5, B2. Not so much vitamin C or glutathione. They're usually low on a fasting urine. So don't worry about those too much. But definitely biotin and CoQ10 as well. Then over the page, indicators of detoxification. I want to be making sure that you and your child are detoxing well. If there looks like there's issues here, what then I'm starting to think about is genetics, infections, overgrowth of bacteria. What else is going on? So again, as you can see, every case is completely different, and it's like working out the pieces of the puzzle. Amino acid metabolites, typically they're low on a fasting urine test. When they're high, that's when I start drilling down to go, okay, well, why are they high? I'll say most clients, they're not usually high, they're usually low, but every now and again I will see them high, and we drill down to go, what's going on? And phosphoric, it's what I'm looking at this is to say, look, could there be issues with vitamin D metabolism? So really important to then match that with vitamin D serum in the blood if you've got it. So that's the summary of the report. Then it goes into, a whole lot of description and detail, which is really helpful for you. And yeah, incredible place to start. Incredible information. You get quite a lot. And then I can help you develop a plan, either for you or your child. I'll often match this with the SMART DNA, excuse me, Advanced Pathways genetic test. It depends on your finances and resources because, these tests start to add up in price. But if you don't want to do the two tests at the same time, this is a great one to start with. If you've got any questions, book a free discovery call with me and I can answer your questions. Or if you want to get this test done, book an initial consultation on my website and we can get started. Talk to you soon.